Hi everyone. In today's challenge, we are going to solve this problem. The problem name is check if it is a straight line, and the problem number is 1232. Alright, guys. So as usual, first of all, we are going to clearly understand the problem statement. After that, we are going to move to the logic part. We are going to see how we can solve this problem. And after that, we are going to move to the implementation part. We are going to implement our logic in C++, Java, and Python programming language. Fine, guys. Now let's understand this problem statement, right? So problem say you are given an array coordinates. So basically, guys, we are given with one array, and the array name is nothing but coordinate, right? All right, so this is the array name. After that, coordinates of I is nothing but x comma y. So if I assume that coordinates array has three, we can say length of threes, right? So if it has three element, so every element is going to have also one array of two sides. This is a fix, right? So that is going to be nothing but x comma y. I hope it makes sense. Now where x comma y represent the coordinate of a point. So this x comma y is nothing but we can see the coordinate, right? And if you are not getting this, so let's say x comma y is nothing but 2 comma 0 comma 2, right? So here if I draw a simple coordinate, we can say xy plane. So this is nothing but xy. This is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Let's assume this much, right? So this is 0, 1, 2, and 3, right? So 0 comma 2 will lie something here, right? It will lie something here, and this is nothing but 0 comma 2. I hope it makes sense. So this is nothing but we can say x comma y, which is nothing but a coordinate, right? Which we have to draw on a plane, xy plane. Now we have to check if this point make a straight line in xy plane. So basically our main question is here, we have to check whether all these points, if we draw on xy plane, they are making a straight line or not, right? Simple question. You have to draw all this point, we can say all the coordinates on this xy plane. After that we have to check whether they are making a straight line or not, right? So here if I just assume this, here I have told you already, this is nothing but 0 comma 2, and let assume this is 1 comma 2, and this is nothing but 2 comma 2, right? So if I draw all these, so this will come like here 1 comma 2, this will come like here 2 comma 2. So if you notice here, guys, these all three points means this array, I have drawn all the elements, all the coordinates in this xy plane. Now this will making a straight line, right? So we can say this is a true, right? We are going to return true because these are making a straight line. But if, let assume, guys, there is no 2 comma 3, there is something like 3 comma 3, right? So what it's going to look like, it's going to look like, instead of this, we are going to make a point over here, and this is going to look like here. So now if we draw a line, so it is not going to be a straight line, right? So if you will see, this is going to be something like here, then here. I would making a sense, right? So we are going to return directly false. And now also, if you are not getting, let's understand this two example, example one, example two. So in example one, you can see we have drawn all these point on this xy plane, and you can see we are getting a straight line, right? So simply we are going to return true. And in example two, we have draw all these point or coordinates in this xy plane, and we are getting something like this, not a straight line, right? So we are going to return directly false. I hope now you are getting this problem statement, right? Now you understood this problem statement, but we have to, right? And this is easy problem, right? So we don't expect much more that, right? So now, guys, the question come, how we can check this, right? We can do by manually by drawing this particular on xy plane, right? So if we gonna do this, then we can't do this in the code, right? We can't draw on xy plane, right? So how we can check it? What is the logic part, right? So now let's see the logic part, how we can solve this problem. See, guys, logic is nothing but just you have to understand this problem and forget about the rest of the point, right? So this 4, 5, 6, 7, these are not here, right? This not exist in this particular problem. This is you have to forget about, right? We don't have this much. Fine. Now, guys, the question comes, if there are only two points in xy plane, whether it is a straight line or not. Just tell me by yourself and write in the comment section if you know, right? You can easily know. This is the basic question. If there are only two points in xy plane, let's say this point one here, this is here, right? So will they be making a straight line or not, right? Yeah, definitely they are going to make a straight line no matter where they are, right? So if this point are here, they are going to make straight line. If they are here and this is nothing but we can say here, they are also again making a straight line. If they are here and this is here, they are also making. So if they are at only 2 points, then they are all we can say they are going to make a straight line no matter what is the case, right? So this is the one thing which is clear, right? So now we have a 2 point. We are not gonna we can say touch this 2 point, first 2 point, because we know that these are gonna make a straight line. Now we have to check rest of the point whether they are making a straight line with respect to this one or not. Simple question. 1 comma 2 and 2 comma 3, we all know that this is gonna make a straight line, right? If 2 comma 3 is come here, means if there is point here, so we can say this is gonna always make a straight line. So first 2 point we don't want to we can say touch it because they are gonna make a straight line, right? After that, the next point which we are gonna get at the third position or any next position, we have to check whether this is making a straight line with combining this all previous point or not. Simple question, right? So now we got a new point. This is nothing but 3 comma 4, right? So now, guys, we have to check whether this is already we have, right? So we can say this is already we have. I hope it makes sense, right? This is already we have. I hope it makes sense. Now we have to check 3 comma 4 is making a straight line, means it is coming inside of this line or not, right? So how we can check this particular part? So for that, guys, we are going to use a concept of slope in a math, right? because we know that slope is always gonna same if it is in straight line, right? So we can say find out the slope from this 0 point, means first point to this particular point and this point to this particular point. Both should have a same slope. If they are having a same slope, we have to return. We have to not return. We have to say this is coming under. We can say this line only. So we don't need to return false, right? If they're not having this particular slope is let's say let assume this particular thing, right? I know verbally this mathematical term is gonna make you little we can say complex, so let's understand with this example only. So we have guys, what is the slope? First of all, let's see slope formula, which is nothing but x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1. This is nothing but x2 minus x1, or you can say this is one coordinate x1 comma x2. This not x1, x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2, right? So this is one formula. We can say these are two coordinate, and this is a formula to calculate the slope between these 2 points. One thing is clear now. You have to calculate the slope between this our newly point and the first point, right? So if we are going to calculate this is x2 x1, or you can say this is x1 y1, and this is x2 y2, right? So we can say 3 minus 1 divided by 4 minus 2, right? Which is nothing but 2 divided by 2, which is equal to 1. So we can say the slope between 3 comma 4 and 1 comma 2 is nothing but what we could say it is 1, right? So we have got the slope between this is 1. Now we have to check this point with this point as well. If this also having a 1, then we can say this is in a straight line, right? So 3 minus 2 and 4 minus 3, which is nothing but 1 divided by 1, which is also 1. So we can say slope between 3 comma 4 and 2 comma 3 is also 1. So what we can say simple guys, if they are both making a same slope, right? If this point is making a slope 1 with this point is making a slope 1 with this, and we know these are in same line, we can say in same straight line. So this will also going to be in this particular straight line. So we can directly say this is we can say following the rules, right? So we'll move to the next point. Here also it will follow the rule. Here also it will follow the rule. Here also it will follow the rule. Then we are going to return true, right? Otherwise, in any of the point, if it is not following the rule, we are going to directly return false. So if you will notice over in this example, so you guys can see that, right? Initially we make this straight line, right? This is a straight line. Now we are going to check with this. If they are making the same slope with this one and this one, right? New point is come this one. So 3 comma 4 with 1 comma 1, which is going to give us slope 3 minus 1 is 2. And we can say 4 minus 1 is nothing but 3, right? So this is giving a slope nothing but we can say 2 by 3. And here 3 comma 4 with 2 comma 2, the slope is nothing but we can say 1 by 2. So slope are not same, right? So we are going to directly return false. We will not check for these element as well, right? Because this is only not following this particular line. So we directly going to return false. Now guys, let's move to the code part and see how we can do this, right? I hope you understood the logic part. So now let's move to the code part and see how we can implement in C++, Java and Python programming language. Fine guys, I'm first of all with the Python, right? So I'm gonna do nothing but first of all what I am gonna do, I'm gonna ignore first 2 point, right? But I'm gonna store in somewhere, right? So I can say x0 and x1 is nothing but not x1, x0 and y0 is gonna be nothing but we can say coordinate of 0, and x1 comma y1 is nothing but we can say coordinate of 1, right? Now once we are store this first 2 point, now we are gonna traverse, or we can say we are gonna move all the points or the coordinates. So we can say for I in range of 2 comma length of coordinates. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna traverse every we can say coordinate after the second index, after the first index, right? Or we can say after the second coordinate. Now what we are gonna do, we are gonna calculate the slope of between these two, right? And these two should be equal, right? Now guys, here the logic come. There may be the case that here also 4, here also 4, right? As we have taken a first example. If you will notice this particular part, you can see guys, we have taken a first example like this, right? So what will happen here, if y2 minus y1, if we are going to do, then 2 minus 2 is going to return 0, right? So to avoid this zero division error, what we are going to do, if you will focus over here guys, let's assume this particular thing in this point x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2, these are the 2 points, right? And the third point which we got is nothing but x3 comma y3, right? Now we have to compare this point with this one. We have to check the slope between this and between this as well, right? So now how we can do this? For doing that particular part, what we are going to do, we are going to calculate the slope, right? What we were doing, we were saying x3 minus x1 divided by y3 minus y1, right? And this slope should be equal to x3 minus x2 divided by y3 minus y2, isn't it? What we were doing, we were calculating the slope first of all this x3 y3 with x1 y1 and x3 y3 with x2 y2, and we are calculating their slope should be equal to same, right? Now instead of this zero division error, to avoid this zero division error, we are avoiding a divide. What we can do, we can simply say this should be multiplied with this one, this should be multiplied with this one. So now it will look like x3 minus x1 multiply y3 minus y1. Now it should equal to x3 minus x2 multiply y3 minus y2 y1, right? So now what we are doing like this, right? And not y1. This is going to be x3 minus xy. Here it's going to be 2, right? So we have done like this, and now we are going to check if this is equal, then fine. If it is not equal, then return false. So now let's move to the problem statement here, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to say first of all find x3, right? So we can say x3, and it is going to be nothing but coordinate, or we can say, yeah, we can say coordinate, right? Coordinates of I, right? And this is going to be x3 and y3, or we have like, let's do current x and current y, right? Fine. Now once we are done this, we are going to say nothing but we can say if current x, we have to check that particular we can say this expression. So we are going to say if current x, current let me write it, current x, if current x minus x 0, and it is going to multiply with current y minus y1 is equal to, if it is equal to, then fine. But if it is not equal to, current x minus x1 multiply and current y minus y0, right? And if it is not equal to, we can directly return false. But if it is not, then we are going to return true. Now let's run this code and see whether it's working fine or not, right? And I hope it will work. And let's see whether it's working fine or not. So you can see both the test case pass. So let's try to submit this code as well. And you can see guys, here it also got submitted, right? So we have successfully solved with the Python. Now let's move to the next programming language, that is nothing but we can say C++, right? So in C++, first of all, we are going to calculate two things. First is nothing but x0, and x0 is nothing but coordinates of I, not I, if we can say 0 of 0, and y0 is nothing but we can say coordinates of 0 and 1, right? After that, we are going to copy this and we are going to paste it over here, and this is going to be look like 1 comma 1, and this is nothing but we can say y1, and this is also we can say 1 comma 0, this is nothing but y0. Now once we calculated or stored first two coordinates, we are going to move to the rest of the coordinates. So we can say for int I is equal to 0, not 0, I is equal to I less than we can say coordinates dot size and I plus plus. We are going to say here take the current x, which is nothing but coordinates, and here we can say I of 0, right? And here we can say we have to find current y, which is nothing but we can say coordinates of I of 1. Once this is done, we are going to say nothing but we are going to calculate that expression. So we can say current x minus x, right? Not x. If current x minus x0 into current y minus y1, if it is not equal to current x minus x1 into where is x1, right? We haven't done this x1. We have to write this one like current x minus x1, and here we have to say current y minus y not 1, we can say y0, right? If this is same, then fine. But if it is not same, means slope is different, so we can say this is not coming in our state line, so we can directly return here false. So let's write here return directly false, not here like this. If it is not the case, so we are going to come out the loop and we are going to return directly true. Now let's run this code as well and see whether it's working fine or not with C++. And I hope guys it should work, right? We should not get any error in this. And here we goes. I don't think so, something is happened guys. uh, Let me check whether my internet is working fine or not. You can see both the test case pass, right? So let's try to submit this code, and I hope it should also get submitted, right? So you can see guys, it also got successfully submitted, right? And now let's move to the next programming language, that is nothing but we could say Java, right? So I should not click on this I icon, I should click on this. Let's take it Java, and here we are going to first of all store first two coordinates. So we can say int, and we can say x0, which is going to be nothing but this coordinates, let me write coordinates, and here I can say 0 of 0, right? And we can say y0, which is nothing but equal to coordinates 0 and 1, right? So we are going to copy this, we are going to paste it over here. We're going to say y1, and this is going to be 1 of 1, and here we can say x1, this is going to be 1 of 0. Once we store these two coordinates, we are going to traverse over the rest of the loop. Int I is equal to 2, I less than coordinates coordinates, right? And here we can say length I plus plus. Here we can say just get out our current x, which is nothing but equal to coordinates of I and 0, and here we can say current y, which is nothing but coordinates I and 1, right? Now once we got this current x and current y, what we are going to do, we are going to calculate that expression, which is nothing but current x minus x 0 into current y minus y1. It should not be equal, if it is not equal to current x minus x1 into current y minus y0, right? If it is not equal to this one, so what we can say, is a directly return false, right? Okay, now if it is not the case, so we are going to come out from the loop, we are going to return true, right, not false. Now let's run this code as well, see whether it's working fine or not. And this is with Java, right? So let's see. You can see, guys, both the test case passed. So let's try to submit this code as well. And by this, if it got submitted, so we have successfully solved with C++, Java, and Python, right? So here, guys, you can see that we have successfully solved with C++, Java, and Python programming language, and we have also understood the logic part and problem statement. If you have doubt in any of the section, you can write in the comment section. I'm always there to help you. And if you learn something new in this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe my channel. Meet you in the next video.